When I was about to go on my 3-day break, the Wall Street Journal released new information that they had found that detailed Jeffrey Epstein's connection to Donald Trump in a more meaningful fashion. And we're going to talk about that. Donald Trump since then has, he wrote like this bawdy, salacious letter to Jeffrey Epstein celebrating his 50th birthday. It was very weird. He turned around and basically denied the entire thing and said he's suing Wall Street Journal, which is very stupid.
The president had hoped the move would get his supporters to turn the page, but this weekend acknowledging nothing will be good enough for the troublemakers, adding, even if the court gave its full and unwavering approval, it will always be more.
Wall Street Journal has been booted from the White House press pool. Scoop, a Wall Street Journal reporter was slated to be a part of the travel pool this weekend when Trump travels to Scotland. After the paper's Epstein story last week, the White House booted them from the pool. I mean, this is the peak of like access journalism. They're just basically whipping the media into submission. But it's being done in like the stupidest way possible. It's being done for the dumbest story. This isn't even a new revelation. The idea that, he's reacting this way to information that we kind of knew about, but just like not the additional details, makes the story even larger than before. In the process of this coming out, we found out that Trump is, as a matter of fact, a doodler. Because he was like, I've never written pictures. Like, that was his first response to it. I've never wrote a picture. It was a fucking lie. It turns out he's a massive doodler. I didn't know this. Now I realize he doodles so much. He definitely doodled. He definitely doodled that picture. Like, look at him. It makes no sense. So it's just like every time he just acts like there is no relationship there, it comes out that there is more of a relationship there than we thought.
A new CBS News poll shows falling support for President Trump. He now has a 42% approval rating. That is a double-digit drop since February. He has lost support on issues like immigration and the economy. His approval with Republicans still remains very high, even as he's dealing with the backlash over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case from both sides of the aisle.
President Trump's direction, Attorney General Pam Bondi has asked a federal court to unseal grand jury documents related to that Jeffrey Epstein case. That move followed Trump becoming furious over a Wall Street Journal report that led him to suing the publication. The article at the center of President Trump's new lawsuit is about a birthday letter he allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein in the early 2000s. Trump, who denies the report, is suing the Wall Street Journal and its owner, Rupert Murdoch. A great majority of Americans, 89%, believe the Justice Department should release all information regarding the Epstein case, according to our new CBS News poll. Democrats argued Trump's call to unseal grand jury documents does not go far enough.
Things should be released. We should know what happened here. And it is a claim that this president has made time and time again.
I'm glad that the Democrats are not spiking this. My expectation for the Democrats, as always, is to somehow find a way to mess this up. And surprisingly enough, they have at least establishment Democrat voices that are continuing to push for this. And so that's good.
And the American people have the right to know what happened.
Just over 1/3 of Americans say the Epstein case matters a lot when evaluating President Trump's presidency, and only 11% of Republicans.
This is distracting from the focus on the things that the American people voted for in 2024.
Yeah, in an effort for this to not muddy the discourse surrounding Donald Trump, my man has tried his very best to move on from this and basically pump as many stories as possible into the media. Part of that is culture war issues surrounding teams and what they should be named, and hyper focusing on that. I think there was the Indians back and forth going on, Coca-Cola, cane sugar, shit like that. Just actively trying to move the conversation away. He's just trying to flood the zone. They're trying to flood the zone with as much information as possible. Another thing that he's doing now, talking about Obama's involvement or whatever, trying to claim that Barack Obama was, thwarting democracy and the democratic process by trying to, trying to stop Trump from being president or some shit. Donald Trump is at a 54-point swing in the 18 to 29 demographic, by the way. Trump's approval trends among ages 18 to 29. Early February, his approval rating was 55%, plus 10. Now in July, his approval rating is 44, minus 44. Do you understand? His disapproval rating shot up from 45% to 72%. It is a net 54-point negative swing. Can't wait for every fucking dumb slop tuber piece of shit that has been suckling on the teat of this administration to start quickly turning around, and they'll move on. Just wait. I told you all this shit was going to happen. And it's happening now. That eventually when Trump starts doing his fuck shit, that people would inevitably realize, like, maybe this is not the solution to all of their incoming problems, to all of the regular material issues that they are experiencing. As soon as people realize, like, oh, the trans stuff didn't actually fix my fucking paycheck. The immigration stuff didn't actually fix my paycheck at all. They're simply just going to the farms and doing dragnets. How many times did I fucking say that? Throughout the goddamn election cycle, too. I told you over and over again that the Democrats need to visualize what mass deportations look like, because Americans at that point, did not understand what 20 million migrants getting deported looked like. The point is, none of the fucking policies that he thinks or that he claimed were going to save America are actually going to do that. And people are going to slowly come to that recognition. Not everyone will. And plenty of people will obviously still believe, no, you don't understand. Because Trump is a cult-like figure. You cannot tackle a cult like this. You just have to hopefully keep hitting slowly but surely and assume that enough people have decoupled themselves from the administration and its movements, because they will slowly but surely, at least people who are cognizant enough, will slowly but surely recognize that Donald Trump was basically just lying about all of these criminal migrants. This is precisely the reason why I kept repeating the importance of the Democrats to create adequate counter messaging on the issue of immigration early on every single quote unquote problem that he created. He had no real solutions for, because they weren't real problems. Every other day, there is a new person that voted for Donald Trump last time around that goes, yeah, I don't know if this is actually real. I don't know if this was a good thing that I did. Going back on their votes. Okay? That's how it's done. And I said this over and over again. And I also said this about Israel too. And look where we're at with Israel. Uncompromising in the face of clear injustice was the appropriate thing to do. Every cult ends one way. It's never from the outside. I mean, it doesn't matter. Despite realizing that voting for Trump did not solve the problems they were going through by deporting and attacking queer people's rights, it doesn't change the fact that these people are not and can't be allies against Republicans and overall establishment. These people are still racist, homophobic, transphobic, and so on. No. It doesn't matter, because as long as they're not fucking voting for Donald Trump, and as long as you have real leaders on the opposing side, which we unfortunately currently do not, then you can move America in the right direction. There also has to be a counterbalance that is leading America in the right direction. And we currently do not have that counterbalance. This is why I talk about the importance of having a real competent party that fights back against the Republican madness. Okay? Without that, we just go back to business as usual. Without that, we go back to, another marginally better Democrat that doesn't fix any of the issues. And then that creates an opportunity for even a worse Trump style figure to come in.
As for that Wall Street Journal fight, the publisher says they have full confidence in the rigor and accuracy of their reporting and will vigorously defend against any lawsuit.
Why would Wall Street Journal publish that? What do you mean? It's newsworthy at a time when people are calling into question Trump's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein and how involved he actually was with Jeffrey Epstein. I think it's perfectly appropriate to uncover new information about that level of involvement, which is precisely what's going on here. It's newsworthy because people want answers, and Trump's response to the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, to the Jeffrey Epstein client list, and his and standing in opposition of like more information coming out. Yeah, but it's owned by Bezos. No, Wall Street Journal is not owned by Jeffrey Bezos. It's owned by Rupert Murdoch. What you're thinking of is the Washington Post.